The 1980s were loud, glamorous, and unforgettable. Bold makeup, statement fashion, and even bolder perfumes to define the era. This was the decade when fragrances didn't whisper. They announced your arrival before you even walked into the room. These aren't just scents, they're time machines, carrying the drama, elegance, and confidence of a truly iconic era. Today, we're counting down 10 legendary perfumes from the 1980s that never faded away. Stick around until number 1, because it's a powerhouse fragrance that still commands attention decades later. K de Krizia, 1981. Kicking off our list at number 10 is K de Krizia. Launched in 1981, this perfume embodied the sharp, confident spirit of the decade. With its crisp aldehydic opening, blended with floral notes like jasmine and rose, and anchored by a warm woody base, K de Krizia was sophisticated yet daring. It wasn't a shilly scent, it was polished, structured, and modern, much like the power suits and tailored looks that dominated early 80s fashion. For many women, this perfume became their signature, leaving a trail of quiet strength and unmistakable style wherever they went. Fendi by Fendi, 1985. At number 9, we have the unforgettable Fendi by Fendi. If the 1980s had a signature scent, this might be it. Rich, opulent, and unapologetically strong, Fendi was all about confidence. With leather, amber, and a bouquet of florals, it wrapped you in luxury. This was the perfume for women who weren't afraid to take up space and be noticed. It's bold, elegant, and still smells just as commanding today as it did back then. Roma by Laura Biagiotti, 1988. Number 8 brings us Roma by Laura Biagiotti. Released in 1988, this fragrance captured the warmth and romance of Italy. With citrus, basil, jasmine, and vanilla, Roma was radiant and sensual without being overpowering. Its distinctive bottle, inspired by Roman columns, became an instant classic. For many, Roma was the scent of Mediterranean summers, timeless, elegant, and effortlessly chic. Byzance by Rochas, 1987. At number 7, Byzance by Rochas. This perfume was pure drama, in the best possible way. Launched in 1987, it combined aldehydes, spicy carnation, creamy tuberose, and sweet vanilla in a way that was both romantic and powerful. And that deep blue and gold bottle, absolutely unforgettable. Byzance felt like stepping into a luxurious ballroom, mysterious, elegant, and undeniably 80s. Private Collection by Estée Lauder. Coming in at number 6 is Estée Lauder's Private Collection. Though first launched in the late 1970s, it truly flourished in the 1980s. This green floral fragrance was sophisticated, reserved, and refined, like a tailored blazer in scent form. With lush green notes, jasmine, and oat moss, Private Collection wasn't about sweetness, it was about quiet, confident elegance. It became a signature for women who didn't need to shout to be noticed. Nena by Ricci, 1987. At number 5, we have Nena by Ricci. Released in 1987, this perfume was soft, romantic, and irresistibly feminine. With peach, ylang-ylang, rose, and musk, Nena struck a beautiful balance between delicate and sensual. It carried that Parisian charm, elegant without trying too hard. While other 80s perfumes made bold statements, Nina whispered with grace, and people listened. Ciara by Revlon, 1980s popularity. Number 4 goes to Ciara by Revlon. Originally released in the 1970s, Ciara hit its stride in the 1980s as a warm, spicy, and deeply memorable scent. With rich notes of vanilla, opopomax, and leather, Ciara wrapped wearers in a luxurious, sensual warmth that lasted for hours. It was affordable, powerful, and had incredible staying power, both on the skin and in people's memories. A true drugstore legend that rivaled designer perfumes. Ruffles by Oscar de la Renta, 1983. At number 3, Ruffles by Oscar de la Renta. Launched in 1983, this perfume embodied the femininity and extravagance of the decade. With aldehydes, carnation, rose, and spicy undertones, Ruffles was soft yet vibrant, like a swirl of silk and lace. The bottle itself looked like a sculpted piece of couture, and the scent was just as romantic. Perfect for grand evenings, weddings, and unforgettable entrances. Teatro alla Scala by Krizia, 1980. Number 2 brings us back to Krizia with Teatro alla Scala, released in 1980. Named after the famous opera house in Milan, this perfume was dramatic, elegant, and utterly unique. With aldehydes, rich florals, and warm amber, it captured the grandeur of a night at the opera. This was the scent of velvet gowns, chandeliers, and powerful areas. It commanded attention, but always with class. Cinnabar by Estée Lauder, 1980s icon. And finally, at number 1, Cinnabar by Estée Lauder. Though launched in 1978, it became a defining scent of the 1980s. Warm, spicy, and exotic, Cinnabar was filled with clove, incense, jasmine, and vanilla. It was daring, mysterious, and unforgettable, exactly what the decade was all about. For many, this was the perfume of sophistication and intrigue. Even today, one whiff of Cinnabar instantly brings back the glamour of the era. And there you have it, 10 legendary perfumes from the 1980s that never faded away. Each of these fragrances tells a story of power, glamour, and timeless elegance. Which of these iconic scents do you remember, or maybe still have on your vanity today? Share your favorite in the comments. I'd love to hear your memories. If you enjoyed this fragrant journey back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more vintage perfume stories. Until next time, stay bold, stay elegant, and never underestimate the power of a great perfume.